Ooh,
How good, Bill. We love him, of course, have done for a very, very long time. And in fact, you've got to go right back from when he just arrived out of Colac, a nice sort of tubby bogan.
Chubby.
And he's become a bloody superstar of our game, captained as Australia in the One-Day Internationals and the T20s. Aaron Finch, nice chatting to you.
Good to be on with you, boys.
How you going?
How you going, please?
Yeah, very good, actually. It's been a nice little bit of downtime. Obviously not in the most ideal circumstances, but to have a little bit of a break from the game and just mentally and physically freshen up has been really good. It would have been great to be in India playing in the IPL at the moment, but yeah, hopefully this will extend a career a bit longer out the back end.
Yeah, it'd be nice for the bank balance, I suppose, but unfortunately not Finch's. But have you had a chance? Do you get down to the nets or do you have a hit or anything like that?
No, all the indoor facilities are closed up. The Junction Oval there's in lockdown as well. So I actually haven't unpacked my kit bag since the last ODI we played against New Zealand in Sydney. So it's all tucked away there in the garage, but I'm really starting to miss it. I'm starting to miss training and everything as well. So might be time to pull it out and start having some shadow hits around the lounge room.
How weird was that One-Day International in Sydney in front of no people?
It was actually, once the game started, it was all right, mate. I think the unusual part was turning up to the ground and there being no one there. You're used to a bit of atmosphere, and with the warm-up, you sort of feed off that energy of the crowd. But it was really strange for the first 3 or 4 overs. But then once the game started, you sort of just slipped back into your normal cricket mode, and you didn't think too much about it. It was obviously when you pump one over the fence, you enjoy a bit of a cheer from the crowd or something. But it was just like back playing cricket when you're a kid with a handful of people there watching.
Well, that was going to be my next point. Of all the professional athletes, cricketers are probably the best positioned to handle having no one there, because you play as a junior and then you play club cricket where there's no one watching. And then, sadly, especially in the modern era, Finchy, back in my day there were hundreds of thousands watching. But Shield cricketers, you don't get anyone watching either. So when there isn't anyone there, you're actually stupidly quite used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's really funny about our game, that as soon as you go up a few levels, you start to get massive crowds, and when you play all around the world. But yeah, majority of your career is spent playing in front of no one. But what did really strike me during that was how many people it takes to put on, how many TV people it takes to put on a
Yes.
a televised
Production.
event like that. There was still hundreds of people around the ground, all with Fox uniforms on, directing traffic.
Hey, what about, have you been through the wardrobe yet, Finches, and just gone through all the different shirts you would have? Because I've just gone through how many teams you've played through with.
Oh, no.
Well, the Royals, the Daredevils,
Mm-hmm.
Yorkshire Warriors, the Auckland Aces, Renegades, Punjab, Surrey, Geelong Cricket Club. There'll be a few cricket shirts there.
There's a lot down there. When we did a renovation recently, we made a bit of a room down in the basement for it. So I've got them all on a rack. I've got a few framed, but most of them are just hanging there on a rack with waiting for a little spot to go up. And yeah, there's been hundreds over the time, Bill, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, I read where there's a chance in the coming years that the Australian cricket team will wander out of business class and back into economy. Now, you've shed a few kegs, Finchy, and are probably at career best, but you don't want to pile your frame into an economy seat.
Geez, I don't know how a few of the big fast bowlers, Josh Hazlewood at 6'6" and Mitchell Stark at 6'6", how they'd go with their knees up around their ears. But yeah, I'm sure that something's got to give during these times, and hopefully that's not one of them.
Cost-cutting, Jim. It's
Yes.
It's going to be something there. What about the Indian tour when they come out here? Are we hearing anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything for the last couple of days, to be honest, mate. I think it's all going to just keep coming from the government advice and what happens in regards to the relaxing of certain border restrictions and stuff for potentially sports people to be able to travel and be confined to some pretty particular places where we can still get some live sport on TV in particular, whether that's with or without crowds. We'll wait and see. But I think just any kind of live sport that we can get back up and running, I think is really important, not just for me or you who love our sport, but just society in general. So it's going to be a really interesting one, but fingers crossed they come out, because it's always an amazing summer when India tour hits.
Hey, speaking of them, what are you hearing about the IPL? You touched on it earlier. Is it going to happen? And if so, when?
Oh, I've got a feeling that it might happen, maybe a bit later in the year. Whether that's in India or whether it's in Dubai or somewhere like that, I think we'll have to wait and see. But I know that the BCCI are pushing really hard for it to be played later in the year, potentially as a lead up to the T20 World Cup, if that's still to go ahead in Australia in October, November, that time. So hope it does go ahead. It's an amazing product, and to play in it with the best players in the world is pretty special.
Well, I know you want it to go ahead, and I absolutely know Pat Cummins wants it to go ahead. Hey,
Absolutely.
We are going to get to a break with you, Aaron, because next the Furphy Fridays, Fat.
Oh, yes.
The man who's always looked comfortable with a beer in
With a
his
frothy,
hand.
yes.
So we're going to find out what they're all about next with Aaron Finch.
It's Triple M's Rush Hour, JB and Bill. On the Triple M app and on your home speaker, this is Triple M's Rush Hour, JB, Bill, and Aaron Finch joins us.
Finches, the boy from Colac, who's done very
yes.
well. You know how well he's done, Jim?
How?
I'm looking at a photo here when the World Cup and the one-day internationals.
Yes.
And Aaron Finch, the boy from Colac, is sitting next to the Queen.
Oh, no.
That is unbelievable, Finches. Have you got that up in your lounge room wall somewhere?
Ballroom.
I don't have it up anywhere that I can see. I'm in the lounge room at the moment. Maybe Amy's put it somewhere.
How'd she go, the old girl? What'd you have to say to her?
The old girl.
It's all very very official. You meet her, shake her hand, bow, much like I have to greet my wife every morning, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, as you know. But no, she was nice. She just asked if it was my first time playing cricket in England.
Gee, she's done some homework.
Yeah, she has. I'd actually met her back in 2002. But Prince Harry, he was nice. He had a crack at me about being a little bit too old to be still playing international cricket. So anyway, you cop that.
Hey, do you follow Davey Warner on Insta?
Yeah, I do.
He's put up a photo this week of Candice, his wife. She is in his Australian cricket outfit, the yellow pants and the yellow top. And Davey has got Candice's swimming suit on, which is just the one
All tucked
piece.
in pretty tightly, isn't it?
And it's very, very tight. It's a strange photo, Finches.
Yeah, boredom will do that too, I reckon. He's been on fire on TikTok as well with his young girls, and yeah, I mean, three girls plus his wife, 4 girls in the household. I reckon he's getting the raw end of the deal there, and he might be getting put up to some things by the girls.
Yes.
Tell us about Furphy Fridays, please. What do they entail?
Oh, it's just it's a good way for everyone who logs on and registers at furphybeer.com.au to join myself and Matt Oaken Friday afternoons at 5:30 for almost a bit like it's a virtual pub, so it's sitting around telling some stories and some of that stuff that us as guys who enjoy beer and a chat. It's just good chance to get that little bit of normality almost with something that we're so accustomed to in this country in particular, is sitting around having a beer and enjoying a bit of a chat and someone telling some furfies.
So Friday, 5:30 to 6:30 every Friday, and you have a special guest.
Yeah, first week was last week. We had Max Gornon who told a great story actually about when Paul Roos first turned up to the footy club as coach. So everyone will have to log on and register and tune in to see who's the guest this coming Friday. There's always some great stories.
Right.
Now, Finchy, have you been watching or have you watched the series The Test? And, of course, your own involvement in it, which was extensive. My favourite bit was when you didn't send the bat pad upstairs. I think it was in Perth. And Justin Langer's walked in, Adelaide. Justin Langer's walked in, and fair to say that there was a bit of a cold front moved in between the two of you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've only watched a handful of the episodes. I haven't watched any of the ones that I really feature in, to be honest. I don't like watching or hearing myself a hell of a lot. So, but I do remember seeing that footage, and I remember it very vividly from the time that it happened. I mean, I was unsure if it hit my bat or if it flicked my glove. I thought my pad and my glove hit. I didn't get much from Marcus Harris, my partner at the other end.
He gave you nothing.
And I copped a fair bit from the coach as well. So that's all part of learning, isn't it?
It is.
Well, I've burnt my fair share of reviews in the past. So it's one of those situations when you're playing my third test, and you're the first wicket. You don't want to burn one, and then down the track you get closer and someone gets a stinker.
Yeah.
No, you don't want to be known as Shane Watson for the rest of your life, who just happily helped himself to every review.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the wrong side of JL either, as you
No.
know, Jim.
That was
What
funny.
about him?
He raced
How
downstairs.
angry did he get?
What about the bit I loved is when you're going through a bad patch, and we all do that, Finches, and then you went home and you sat on the couch, and Amy was there, and she said, "What's wrong?" And all you said was, "I just got to make some runs." That was quote unquote.
Yeah, it's it's true, isn't it? That's as an opening batter or at a batter in general, your job is to get some runs. And it was a really tough period. I think there was a lot of things going on in terms of I was pretty burnt out from playing a lot of cricket in the last sort of 18 months leading up to that. Yeah. I was trying so hard that when you try too hard, you actually forget the basics of what you're doing, or you forget to try and get off the mark and then get to 10 and get to 20. You get so focused on getting 100 or having a match-winning contribution that you actually forget
the next ball.
Yeah, you forget the next ball. You forget your fundamentals and your process.
I hope I'm not talking out of school here, Finces, but we got to the Sydney test of that series against India. And I'd had a couple of very brief chats with you, but I decided, and you can back me up when I say this, I don't do this very often, if ever. But I strode down to the middle of the SCG, grabbed hold of Finchy, and I said, right, there's a couple of things you're not doing that you need to do. I gave you my best 2.5 minutes.
Yep.
And then he chopped me off, Bill, and said, I'm not playing in the game.
That's 100% right.
At that point, I said, all right, I won't say any more, and just walked off.
Yeah. That's one of those things. And what really got me through that period is the amount of people, particularly ex-players and guys like yourself, Jim, who reached out with a lot of encouragement. The amount of texts that I was getting from Gilly, Mike Hussey, Matty Hayden, Steve Waugh through that period was really really reassuring that I knew that I could play Test cricket, and I was still a pretty good international cricketer. But sometimes you just forget that for a while, and you start to doubt all of your ability, and you doubt all your whole game plan and your technique and everything. So it was really nice through that period to see that support from everyone.
Yeah, the good ones. But you do get flogs. You get flogs that come up to you and want to be part of you. And I spoke to him and he got 100 and it was all me. Just like you, Jim.
Finchy and I go a long way back. In fact, that house he's talking to us from, I reckon I single-handedly built it out of the Renegades chairmanship all those years. But what you did after that, which is to your great credit, is your next 12 to 18 months of one-day cricket especially and T20 cricket for Australia was extraordinary. So you had a bloody good time of it after that.
Yeah, it was nice to sort of bounce back from that in the second half of the Indian series, and that's still one of my career highlights, is beating India in a one-day series after being 2-0 down. So that was really special. But to then go on and get a few more hundreds in the UAE against Pakistan and then the World Cup, it was really nice. So yeah, it's been a roller coaster couple of years, but good to come out of the other end in a pretty good place.
All right. Well, once we can get old Happy Dan, old Four Eyes Dan, to loosen the restrictions up enough, Finchy, we can hit the golf course.
Absolutely. Your shout?
Yeah.
No, 100. Very happy to shout.
Oh, money bags.
Always.
Tight ass.
Always.
Hey, good on you, Finchy. Always
Well
great
done,
to
mate.
speak to you, mate.
Thanks for your time, boys.
It's the
Good
rush
on you,
hour
man.
and Triple M. Bill's been in the kitchen. I think he might have a bake.
Oh,
Up
yes,
next.
please. Let me at him.